Congratulations, all of you Shaddoll players. You've overcome Sacred Beast by 1 percentile. Just 1. Look at this raw data. This is crazy. I thought Sacred Beast was a meme, but I guess not. What do we actually know? Shaddolls 34%, Sacred Beast 33%, Charmers 15%, Trap Tricks 10%, Crystal Beast 8%. Let's dig on into a little market watch that welcomes our new little overlords back to the metagame, shall we? Well, Shaddolls are the next structure deck. Let's give it up, everybody. Yay! I was waiting for the Sacred Beast support. So welcome to Market Watch, where I get to talk to you about Shaddoll prices and how you should probably have rode the hype a day or so ago to get to those cards before they're a little bit too expensive. And we're going to talk about Aromage prices on here too, because they got bought out yesterday too. Weird, right? So, you can buy the YCS participation El Shaddaga mat on the market right now for basically $119 shipped, which is pretty expensive actually. Now, let's dig on into, should I have this expensive card or not? So, El Shaddoll Construct, Ultimate Rare, fantastic addition to any Yu-Gi-Oh! Player's collection. We saw yesterday that the old Ultimates were starting to creep up. Here we are. We got some very cheap ones on the market right now. I would not feel bad about picking up Unlims. I'm starting to already see that the first editions were holding at $29 at this moment. If you want my honest opinion, as the longer that the day goes here, these are going to start disappearing. You're probably going to be at $40 by the end of the day. Just be aware of what's coming. The collector's market is not a very kind beast when it comes to things like this, especially when you have announced support like this. Yes, we assume that Construct is going to get the reprint. No, max rarity cards are not going to drop in price. And you've got a hell of a pipe dream here if you don't expect to make any real money on this. Now, things like Anoatalis, I'm a little bit more on the fence. Understandably, cards from Cross Soul, and actually anything that says first edition, usually is pretty good at value. Currently, you can pick them up for $12, going on into $13, going on up to $14. Like I said, as this day is going to go on, these quantities are going to start disappearing. As people start to get into their day, they're going to be like, oh shit, like, Shaddoll cards, oh my god, hype! And, you know, not everybody's gotten paid yet, so I don't know, well, so that goes. But you can pick up Anoatalises at this current point in time for anywhere from 12 to 14. If you're a stickler for first ed, this isn't going to be a good day for you, unfortunately. Obviously, you've got things that you can do to, you know, compensate for that. Now, of course, Shaddolls has always gone up. This card being a double-edged train support card is also pretty crazy in terms of value. But here we are, $14, lowest first ed. Of course, you got the Straggler Light plays, and then you're starting to touch the $15 mark. I'm expecting these gradually as the day goes out to start disappearing as well. There's nothing we can really do about it. Secret Rare from the 2015 Megatins. You can see on the front page alone there, we have $6 to $7 copies. Yeah, 7s essentially across the board, depending on what you're doing. You've got a good chunk of secrets available to you. You've got 5 pages. Unless somebody comes through and goes, oh, this is the buyout. Mega Pack Shekinagas. No, it's not the buyout. I actually think that that's pretty crazy to actually do that. Now, regular secret Shekinagas coming in about $7.69. The only argument here you're doing is just spending an extra $1 to get one that's not first edition on it. I mean, okay. Like, make your... Do you want Mega Pack or do you want regular? Do you not want it to say Mega Pack? Do you want first edition? I mean, you got little things to do, but they're decently priced still for this point in time. El Shaddoll Construct regular ultra rares. So you've opted, you said, man, I don't want to pick up ultis. Understandable. If you want to pick up ultras, $2 a piece at this point. You're definitely not in a bad position, and I'm assuming that the player base already knows that when they start to push this Shaddoll Construct back off of the ban list when the structure deck gets closer to release. It's definitely something to put on the back of your mind and just keep in for consideration purposes, but yeah, it's definitely something. Now, when we start to get into more of the random Shaddoll hollows, especially as we're going into Battles of Legend here. By the way, we'll be doing a Battles of Legend video probably, I want to say possibly on the 4th of July, depending for Market Watch style for those pre-sale prices. But going into this, though, you're in this really awkward situation here that you see, hey, these cards are getting reprints. We're getting a new rarity print for them. Okay, is it worth picking up? That'll be determined as the set goes through. But I could see potential dip on these, much as we see with most products at this point. But once we get closer to the structure deck, of course we'll shoot up for higher rarity. You know, it's a very interesting creature, this market is. Now, things to keep an eye on are Grista. Grista's kind of been that little one in the corner that nobody really likes. I mean, at least you can make it with our homie, yes, our homie, the fire monster, Ash Blossom. At least you have some tutor ability for that. I mean, granted, the card's not that amazing, but I mean, you're looking at already $5 on these, and you've already got 3 pages. I mean, players are already prepped for this. They're ready to go. You know, people are already shotgunning this, so things to keep in consideration. Also, side note, I have a very strange feeling that Shaddoll Dragon will be getting a super printing in an OTS pack in the near future. So don't be too distressed when you see this overly expensive price tag and just go, what? Now, same thing with regular Mega Pack Gristas. We're already pushing down to the $3 mark, which isn't bad, honestly. I would pay attention and see if you could possibly pick up L Shaddoll Fusions, regular Shaddoll Fusions, at a particularly low value, and not feel too bad about it. Especially if you could pick up first edition copies. Yeah, basically $2 just to get some OG first. And I make myself feel a little bit better about that. And same thing, Windows shouldn't have any problem. I already see the Duelist Alliance copies are already pushing up to the $5 mark here. Just kind of pay attention to that in the long run through the course of the day, as the market starts to be an unrelenting beast for this. Now, same thing with this. I would head on over here. I would start scouting out first edition copies of Shaddoll Fusion. $4 for first edition copies, available on page 1. Same thing down here. Basically, $3, $1 post shipping, which isn't too bad. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, there's nothing else too good that you just got to be like, oh, snap, crackle, and pop on the Shaddoll stuff. Those are your immediate things at the moment. I mean, same thing, if you don't want to pick up original copies, still pick up Megaton Ultras. They're very cheap at this moment. I don't think we're going to go too crazy ham on these. Now, on the topic of the Aromage stuff from yesterday, the market went, oh my god, Aromage support. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And we did it, and they're gone. So, Aromage Jasmines, these are the original copies. You guys have started to notice in these market watches that first edition copies hold some sort of value. Light play $12. Oh, that's automatically over the $9 mark I see there. $13. Meanwhile, regular copies are a meager few bucks cheaper. What? Like, thanks, Yu-Gi-Oh! I love you some days. Rosemary's, $5, but regular copies coming in about $4, only $1 more. Then regular copies, look at this, so much cheaper. $1. Bergamots coming in at dollars. So much of this stuff is so very cheap. You don't have any reason to have not picked up the reprints. I know, I don't think the deck's going to be absolutely tier 1. I actually think that that's more or less a joke at this point. Assuming that's not actually going to happen. I've also no movement on Aromas Therapy Jasmine. Actually, these are pretty cheap still. I wouldn't feel too bad about picking those up. Now, a few other stray things here. Dried Winds. These were $6 yesterday afternoon. You can bet this card's going to get a reprint the closer we get to it. And I'm smelling an OTS pack common. There's no way that they're not going to give these cards essential reprints and things along the way. It's pretty much destined at this point, especially when we get closer to the release of Chaos Impact and this Shaddoll stuff starts to come out. Same thing with Glider Beast cards. They'll reprint them in cheaper available to get card variants. Sangan also got bought out because right now there's a lot of talk about Altergeist being able to play Sangan. Sangan is able to go into El Mirage. El Mirage allows you to drop it into Multi-Faker. As you can see here, Retro Pack Sangans, Yeah, 80 bucks. Turbo Pack Ultras, 22s. But personally, I think you could just pick up some DLG Supers. Feel a little bit about the same for 7 bucks and not feel too bad. And of course, you got some Legendary Collection Secret Rares coming in at 10s. I kind of, all saying is just kind of feel an increase here. A Gold Series, 6 bucks. All right. Where are those Hobby Leagues? Hey, Hobby League guy. Sangan, where you at, buddy? It's Hobby League Sangan, friend. Oh, I guess they're just all straight gone. Poor Sangan, poor guy. He never gets any love. But Hobby Leagues are at 4 bucks. Okay, so those went down. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, all Sangan copies kind of feeling a little bit of an increase right now. And last but not least, Dual Terminal 7 Utopia is an actual $60 card. What? That's all I have for Market Watch today, guys. Just a quick little one. Tomorrow or later in the week, we're probably going to beat down Battles of Legend pre-sales and see if it is worth it to you to pick up certain things now or wait a little bit. All right, guys. Shaddoll out. I always wanted to say that. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.